Charlie. Thank you all for joining. Oh my goodness, we have some. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us here. I'm really happy to be here and welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Pottstown. What does it mean to be a Unitarian Universalist? From the UUA's website, we are people of all ages, people of many backgrounds, people of many beliefs. We are brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. We create spirituality and community beyond boundaries, working for more justice and more love in our lives and in the world. Unitarian Universalism affirms and promotes 7 principles grounded in the humanistic teachings of the world's religion. Our spirituality is unbounded, drawn from scripture and science, nature and philosophy, personal experience, and ancient tradition. So welcome all, whoever you are, wherever you are, with us here or on Zoom land, or whoever you love. And please join us if you are here in the building. Please join us after the service in the social hall for food and conversation. So now is the time for announcements, if anyone has any.
Hi, I'm Kay. This Saturday is November 12th, and it's our annual bonfire. So we're hoping that it does not rain, but if it does, it's going to be on Sunday at 5:30. It's Saturday 5:30. Please bring your hot dogs and anything else you want to do, or anything you want to drink besides hot cider and hot chocolate. So hope to see you there.
Hi, Monica. The membership committee is going to be hosting an ornament event on December 3rd. And if anyone wants to help me plan it, I'd really appreciate it. So it's going to be salt dough ornaments that we're going to bake in the oven here. So it's for all ages. It's really intricate or really simple. So it's going to be really, really fun. So it's going to be open to the public, so anybody can come. Thanks.
No more? Okay. If I could ask you to put your cell phones in the worship mode, which reminds me, I gotta do the same. And I would like to strike the time to call together. All right, the opening words that we have from Monica for the service today is: someone would scatter seed on the ground and would sleep and rise night and day. The seed would sprout and grow. The earth produces of itself first the blade, then the ear, then the full corn in the ear. When the grain is ripe, the harvest has come. And now I'm going to light the chalice. Actually, I was going to light it. I'm going to read. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. And our first hymn is number 11 O God of stars and sunlight. Please rise as you are able. Now is the time for the children's moment with Miss Ruby. Would any of the children like to come up? We have some nice rugs.
Yeah.
Another one. I'll make you just one question. Or not? Okay, if you walk in front of you, it's fine. I don't think it's.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Ruby, and I have the children's story today. And I just realized instead of the story, I grabbed my order of service, but I think I have it on my phone. If not, I'll be running back to my bag. Get my stuff. Oh, John, thank you. My knight in shining armor. Thank you. So our story today is from a Unitarian Universalist book of stories called A Lamp in Every Corner. And this is a story about the UU7th principle
which is respecting and caring for the earth and the interdependent web of life. And the name of the story is called And It Is Good. On a day not so very long ago, in a place not far away, a grass seed lay waiting. All through the cold, dark days of winter, the seed waited, covered by a blanket of earth. In the spring, when the air was warmed by the sun and the land was watered by the rain, the seed began to grow. It grew roots deep into the earth. It grew a delicate pale green shoot up into the air. As the days went by, the shoot grew into a firm stalk, which waved in the hot summer breeze. It grew bright green leaves that opened to the sunshine, and then grew darker green as more days went by. It grew and grew until the seed was a tall stem of grass and was ready to make seeds of its own. In the fall, when the nights turned cool and the leaves on the trees flamed red and orange and gold, the grass plant knew it would soon be dying, and so it set free its seeds. They traveled in the wind, above field and stream and hill. Some of them slowly settled to the ground in a meadow where they lay waiting, covered by a blanket of earth. And it was good. Now in that place, not so very far away, a small field mouse was looking for food. Winter was coming, and the mouse was hungry. He went here and he went there, sniffing his way through the meadow, ears perked, eyes open, whiskers quivering, careful and cautious always, for there are many creatures that will eat a mouse. And as he sniffed and nibbled and then sniffed some more, he found a few of those grass seeds that lay covered by the blanket of the earth. So he dug them up, scratch, scratch, and he ate them, and it was good. Now in that place not so far away, a snake was hunting. Winter was coming, and she was hungry. She went here and there, gliding through the faded fallen leaves from the tree, and tasting the air with flickerings of her forked tongue. She tasted the scent of the mouse and followed the scent to the meadow. And after a while, she found him. So she caught him. Quick, snap, in her jaws, and she ate him. It was good. Now in the sky, high above that place, not too very far away, a hawk was searching. Winter was coming, and the hawk was hungry. He went here and he went there, soaring on the wind with outstretched wings, looking down to the earth far below. And at the edge of the meadow, he saw the snake gliding through faded fallen leaves. So he folded his wings and he plummeted straight down to the ground, and he caught that snake catch in his fiercely curved claws, and he ate her, and it was good. The days went by in that place not very far away. The grass froze and died, winter had come, the hawk soared on outstretched wings, hunting, but he was old. And one day, he plummeted to the earth for the last time, and he died. And it was good. The body of the hawk lay on the ground all winter long, covered by snow. When spring came, the sun warmed the air, and the rain watered the land. Flies buzzed in the air, ants scurried over the ground. Spring was here, and they were hungry. The ants and flies found the body of the hawk. The flies laid their eggs in it, and the eggs hatched. The days went by, and the body of the hawk slowly disappeared, eaten by ants and other insects. The bones chewed on by small animals, and whatever was left provided food for bacteria and mold. And in just a few weeks, the body of the hawk had completely melted back into the earth. And it was good. Because now in the earth where the hawk had melted, the seed lay waiting. As spring turned into summer, and as the sun warmed the air and the rain watered the land, the seed began to grow. It shot a pale green shoot up into the air. It pushed roots deep into the earth, which was made up from the body of the hawk. who had eaten the snake, who had eaten the mouse, who had eaten the seeds. That's right. And it was good. So remember, in that place not so very far away, and in all the places all around, there is sun and there is rain. There are seeds and mice and snakes and hawks. There are ants and bugs and bacteria and mold. There are crocodiles and humans and plankton and daffodils and mushrooms. And they all eat from each other. They all live and they all die. And it is all good. Okay, we have that. That's true. We've all took, yes, that's one thing that could have eaten. The dead animal. Yeah. Anyone else have any questions? There was a reason why we didn't do our normal pictures and stuffies today. It was better to just leave that out. Thank you all.
Thank you for that wonderful story. It really ties in with today. Shall we sing the children out? Portrait of And now we will, to sustain our fellowship, and the services we value, the morning offertory will now be given and down. Shall we sing our next hymn now, which is number 50, When Darkness Nears. I'm really looking forward to hearing Monica's service today with a short history of Samhain, an explanation of the rituals that go along with it, many of which we still follow today in our religious and non-religious practices. In getting ready to be a lay leader today, I did some research and found out what the list of the 10 most superstitious countries in the world are. Now, there are 195 countries in the world. We make the top 10. Yeah, in order, and I have the top 10 in order. Sorry, I lost my place. India, North Korea, Japan, China, South Korea, Greece, Egypt, Philippines, Haiti, and the US. We are number 10 out of 195 countries. So we like our rituals. What company we keep. I kept my own rituals this week in defense of the Phillies. I wore my hoodie, my special Phillies hoodie. Alas, the stars weren't aligned. So we're going to have to just cross our fingers, knock on wood, and throw salt over our shoulders for next year.
Hello, I'm a little nervous. This is my first time doing this for you guys, so bear with me. Um, so. Okay, there we go. So all through my life, I have had a deep connection with the natural world and have had a yearning to connect with my ancestors and to know them not only by the stories they passed down by my family elders, but in a deeper way. The analytical part of me is fascinated by the genetic traits that pass down from parent to offspring. The unique codes that help make us who we are can help us learn where we come from. I have 3 boys and they have traits of people that I know in our family that I would never think that they would have adopted genetically because they don't really see these people. And it's just amazing to me. I find that there is something primordial and magical about the mitochondrial DNA that sits in my cells from my mother and her mother, and that tethers me to all the women in my lineage and to my own children. This connection is so important to me, and it fuels a large part of my spiritual path today. Along my spiritual journey, I came across Wicca and neo-paganism. I can't say that I place myself in the Wiccan bucket any longer, but I do find a lot of comfort in connecting to spirit by observing the natural cycles and honoring and exploring the feminine and masculine divine inside myself. I find that this not only helps me to be a little woo-woo and weird, but it also helps me to reach through space and time to attain that deeper connection to my ancestors that I long for. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is the wheel of the year. This is the Celtic wheel of the year. It's a little hard to see, but it has all of the Celtic holidays, starting with Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Wicca, Lugasna, Mabon, and Samhain. A version of the wheel of the year is seen in many different cultures throughout human history. This is the Celtic wheel of the year, and it is what many New Age and neo-pagans use in their spiritual practices today. Ultimately, the wheel of the year follows the natural cycles of the seasons, marking each change with a celebration. Thanks to human imagination and creativity, we have lots of symbols, associations, stories that go along with each season. The humanization of the natural world has helped us to better relate to, adapt to, and understand our environment. The stories we've created around each season has helped us to understand the human condition as we experience birth, life, and death. The Celtic wheel of the year follows the story of the triple goddess and the god. So Yule is at the top. That's kind of the crone phase, the old woman phase. It's also the phase where the goddess gives birth to a new year, to a new son, who is the god. Imbolc, Ostara, and Beltane are the springtime. That is when it's child to adolescence. And then Litha, Lugasna, and Mabon are the big harvest festivals. That's when the earth is at its strongest and it's our summertime and when we grow lots of our food. Samhain is the death
and the entering into the crone state. So in basic pagan mythology, earth-based religion for Celtic stuff, a year is more like a spiral. So each year is slightly different, but the goddess never changes or dies. And then the god is what you see as life and death. So that's that cycle. Samhain is all about connecting to the deepest parts of ourselves and our ancestors. It's about remembering, connecting, and letting go. Next slide. So these are just artistic representation of the triple goddess, the maiden mother and crone. And then the god, which would be the oak king, which would be the summer months, and the holly king would be the winter months. Next slide, please. I just really like this quote. The moon sits low above the world, a reminder that there is light in darkness and darkness in light, and that everything that was will be again. I really liked the story that Ruby picked this morning because I feel like that represents so much of what is the natural world. And I think even if you're not into spirituality necessarily, like if you're more scientific and analytical, it's easy to connect with that piece. And I think that's what I really liked with earth-based religions, because it's something that I can see and I can feel and I can experience when I go outside. So I really was drawn to that. Next slide, please. Okay, so if you've never experienced a pagan ritual before, I just want to go over quickly what you're going to see. There's lots of symbolism and meaning behind all the things you'll see in here, which I can answer any questions afterwards. But the first thing we'll be doing is creating sacred space. So in Wicca specifically, you can create sacred space wherever you are. So your church can be anywhere. So it's basically just like when we bring our chime before service, it's creating that sacred area for your practice. Calling the elements. That is earth, air, fire, water. And many earth-based religions believe that there are spiritual and magical properties to nature that we call elemental spirits or energies to help protect and aid in rituals. And it's kind of like adding extra horsepower to your car. Think of it that way. Invoking spirit is next. Many pagan people who have a patron god or goddess, much like a patron saint, adopted by Catholics during confirmation. If I were to cast a circle on my own, I would call my own patron goddesses or god if I had one. And you would just use those energies and spirits in your practice. Because we're a very eclectic group of people, I'm just going to be saying spirit or great spirit today. So you can insert in your head whatever you'd like. Cakes and ale are another part of a ritual. You can see I have ale there. In a smaller group setting, if we were very intimate with each other, we would be sharing these literally with each other, but because of COVID and things like that, I will be partaking and you'll be watching. So you'll be watching in spirit. But this basically represents a couple things. It's kind of like a communion of sorts, and it's also you're sharing your gratitude with the spirits that you welcome into your circle and with the people that are there. So and it's also like taking literal earth and water and bringing it into yourself. So the other things are we'll be having a small, if we're going to go around the circle, because Samhain's all about your ancestors and connecting. So some people brought things to represent people who have passed on. So we're going to go around the circle and you can just say a name, you can say a memory, you can say whatever you want, or you can pass, doesn't matter. But we're going to be doing that as well. And then we'll be closing circle and that'll be that. So real simple and easy. So here we go. All right, I'm going to ask if you can come to the inner circle here because it'll be easier for us to cast. Go to the next slide. So on the next slide, I just have like a virtual altar for the people that are online. Yeah, you can. If you have something now, you can put it up or you can leave it. Does anyone know where it is?
is it this way? That way. All right, cool. All right. Is anyone offended by the smell of sage? We're good? Good. Alright, so I just asked that, I'm gonna be walking behind you, and that's gonna be like our sacred space of circle. So I just ask that you don't leave the circle until the ceremony's done. Okay, great. Okay. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of air, the winds of intellect and imagination, swirling sources of light, breath, and life. I seek the open sky within myself, that I may breathe deep of freedom, ideas, sound, and space. I call you forth to sweep away all that accumulates in the unseen places, and to sing beauty into the world. Wing and feather, storm and leaf, air, I call thee hence. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of fire, the flames of creativity and passion, dancing source of heat, light, and life. I seek the glowing forge within, that I might warm myself with desire, excitement, courage, and inspiration. I call you forth to burn away all that impedes my highest vision, and to enact change into the world. Lightning and art and forge, fire, I call thee hence. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of water, the fluid of infinite shapes and forms, flowing source of adaptability, emotion, and life. I seek the pure spring within, that I may drink deep of change, relationship, nourishment, and grace. I call you forth to wash away all that needlessly binds, and to move fluidly in this world. Ocean and river, ripple and rain, water, I call them hence. Here and now, the elemental force of earth, the soil of fertility and growth, eternal source of stability, stillness, and health. I seek the deep cavern within, that I may potentially build strength, mystery, sanctuary, and abundance. I call you forth to filter away all that is impure, and to stand rooted in the world. Mountain and dust, footsteps in stone, earth, I call you hence. Something like a blue wave. Spirit, here and now, I reach deep within myself. Here and now, I evoke spirit. I call upon the force connecting me to the whole of existence, the thread running back through my blood, and that ripples spreading out through my actions. I call upon our ancestors, whom we honored with this solemn ritual. Join us in our circle and bless this rite. Life and death, great spirit, I call to thee. Like this. Yeah. All right, with earth, I'm sorry, with air and fire, I. With water and earth, I cast the circle.
With the blessings of the great spirits, I bless this space. As above, so below, the circle is cast. May only love and light enter and love and light remain. So. That's casting a circle. So now we're gonna share, if you'd like to, I'll start. I have a picture of my grandmother, Linda, and she passed away in 2020, and she taught me how to crochet, and so I have a ball of yarn and a crochet hook for her. I also have, I'm wearing a necklace of a friend of mine who passed away, and she was only 30, she had brain cancer, her name is Steph, and today's her birthday, so it's extra special. But she loved tea, we would go to tea and stuff, so I have her favorite tea in there. So yeah, anyone else would like to share? We can go around the circle.
I'll begin. I have the spirits in my heart of my generations of ancestors. Louis Parisian, whom I never met, my father's father who passed away, I think during my first year of life. I don't know if he ever saw me. His wife, who passed much earlier, for maybe about an abortion, I believe, Jenny Parisian. And I did know my mother's parents, Jacob and Esther Black, as well as, of course, my two parents, Richard and Beth Parisian. All that they have in me, both genetically and by upbringing, I carry with me today.
Thank you.
I just cheated, I have it here. There's an old picture of my grandmother and family when my grandmother was 3. And she grew up in Audubon, New Jersey, and was very instrumental in my life. And one of the things that she did for 50 years was run the July 4th parade. So when she became too old to do it, they rerouted the parade in front of her house.
Oh,
Well, I didn't pair anything, so I stumbled a little bit. I have a memory as a result of my mother. Probably not surprising that I was very close to her. She was a person, she lived a long and happy life, and I was grateful for that. And she, in a sense, lives on in the lives of her grandchildren and great-grandchildren and her children like me. And she was a person of grace and intelligence. And at a young age, I favored her over my father. And I felt like I wanted to be more like her. And so that was a good memory. And I'm thankful that you reminded me of her. I don't think of her very often, but this was a good opportunity for me to think back on the happiness of my childhood and her influence on me.
I brought pictures of my grandmother. Some here know that I'm interested in genealogy, and so I'm always researching one part of my family or the other. And this past week, I had an opportunity to get together with my other Bode cousins, my Helen Bode, her baby picture, and her graduation from nursing school picture. And so her name is Helen Bode, and she married me from the Gregory. I got together with a Bode cousin, and who also enjoyed genealogy, so we just talked and exchanged information and stuff. And so she's been on my mind for these because I've been going to that site.
But my mom absolutely loves to draw and jewelry. So when before she passed, I made sure that she told me the story behind every significant piece of jewelry she had. And that's for the most part that's in the jewelry. She passed in the class.
So I lost my father earlier this year.
he's a very special person. We had such a closeness and bond throughout all of that. Just, give thanks to him for everything he shared. And I thank him so for he would be and letting me now. So he's here. Just feel his presence and so many times, so many moments that we've gone forward and then he's guiding me and showing me just thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
First of all, sorry, I don't really have one thing. I did not think that that's that makes sense. I have, and it was really special to me. When I was in school, so, I went to America. And, I know kids, I do a lot since then. Also my friends, I did go to very long when we passed, and very young. But I still feel a connection with them. And, I also like to honor just, all the ancestors that we have, like them that. Anyone there in the record to me, and creating who I am today, and in my own similar spiritual practice, I call them in, and they call me in my own life as much.
I wanted to honor my father, who passed when I was young, so we really have to connect with him very well since I was young. And remembering and honoring him in times like this helps me really understand wanting to connect with him. And I thought I had forgotten the picture when we were late. And I reached in my purse and we played all the kids, which I'd seen. And it was perfect because I was thinking of him a lot, showing that he loved the album this came out. And he introduced me to a lot of things that, like, my mom was artistic and mom, my dad, like, the theater and city and that sort of thing. And after that, I actually ended up seeing the show in New York with my school. So we have a lot of great similarities. And I found the picture, I really enjoyed it. So the picture of him and my mom and the bunny dad. And I bought an orange from the room because there's a funny story similar between that and my brother-in-law who passed away earlier in the year. And then you're my grandmother, I couldn't help think of what did I learn to picture her, she's so important to me too. And then I realized that I brought this Jewish apple cake and she was a huge baker, so that's what it is.
My family history is a story of blending families. Maybe it get confusing at times. When my father passed away, my mother placed me with a family in northern Ohio. People who had been part of his Methodist church congregation when he was a young man. And from there, I found myself going with probably my mother to where areas that he taught in school in southern Indiana, around about finally in Utah, where she made what I think was a mistake to marry a local man. He passed away in Utah, in Nevada finally, and we had to take him to his family cemetery in northern Utah. Finally, Mother married a man she met while she was teaching in Las Vegas, and he was a Navy veteran for the name unpronounceable. It was generally, this name was generally pronounced Pidachek. It was more probably Ladachik. And he told me that in the Navy, people call it mash to scramble name and call it little chuck. Beautiful job. Now he's gone. My wife was in Central Kentucky. Grew up there. And then I met her in Salt Lake City. There she was running away from youth country. Asked her to marry me. She said, yes, but you're now the father of two girls. And so the younger, gone now. She married a Jewish family in California. And his sister joked with her about she was now a Jewish prince that she could be starting managing things. Started adding money and goodies. So found it out. My father came originally from Cornwall, where old traditions have survived. At least in the north, in Padstow, when they those parts of Cornwall facing Ireland, they still run a horse on payday. The horse is a symbol of fertility, and they run a pair of mock-up black horses that are run around town at different times. And the music, I heard the song has to somewhere up country in England because the words are in English, not only. That custom, the old red ribbon moss, the old timers, goes that goes back to time immemorial, or part of old ceremony of summer. And they expressing a wish for fertility in the crops and the animals. On the for the ceremonial events through Helston, which is close to my family's home, where a couple of dance, they do a dance on the course through the town, stopping halfway through for tea and business. This is a local dance to me, of course, about that, about something like that, about the rest. And it's old. Music is new, is fairly new now. Now, and places they know it over and over and over. They would drive along the wall, and they it starts from the college ball, where we do test aimed at the ore from local building for sure, to be sure it was proper, good, sure in. And everybody, it goes around and around, and it stays, it remains. Hobby horse, Christian tried to stop it. The Catholic tried to stop it, the Methodists tried to stop it. Nobody was strong enough. The dance in Nelson, I guess they gave up their trying to stop it. It continues. It's still a ceremonial. It's a leftover from very old time. And it matters.
It does matter.
It matters.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
This is a picture of my mother and father. My father enlisted on the Japanese farm for a while. And he was stationed in the South Pacific. And he would write to my mom, tell her they weren't allowed to tell people where they were stationed. So they developed a system where the first letter of each sentence put together and spelled where he was. She died in 90 and he passed away 12 years ago.
This morning I found this old Mills photo of my brother. He passed away January 19th, 2021. And he had not had a funeral service or a memorial. This was during current COVID. So I just want to honor him today. He had so many friends, and I'm hoping that someday the family can get together and have friends and family around to just celebrate his life. He was 72.
I brought my grandparents, my father's parents. They met because she was the pianist in church. They were in Western Pennsylvania. My grandfather was older than she was. He was a very strict Scots Presbyterian minister, and they met that way. So I often wonder what he would think of my liberal religion and my liberal political views. I don't know. He died when my father was 14 months old. And, you know, I often think, because I also am into genealogy, my mother did a tremendous amount of research. And if I could go back in time and speak at least to the ones who had the courage to take the ship over. And my grandfather, I never knew him. My father really didn't know him. I could just go back in time and talk to him about his stories. I always think about that. This is my grandmother, Alice Ryan Bowler, was her name. I never met her. She died at the age of 36 from breast cancer, 83 little girls. Of course, I inherited the genetic propensity for cancer, but I survived. And here I am many years later, so lucky. I think when I think of her, I think of endurance, because she was raised in a community that didn't accept her family, and she was in poverty. She was raised, but she managed to get herself into college, and this was in Nova Scotia, and she became a teacher. When she married my grandfather, he was, well, I should say that she's the granddaughter of an indentured slave who came originally from India to Scotland, where she worked in the kitchen, and she was brought over. Her grandmother was brought to Scotland when she was 6 years old. And so she married a Scot, and they left Scotland, and were probably just as uncomfortable in Nova Scotia. But anyway, when my grandfather married the granddaughter of that woman, when he married Alice, he was disowned by his family, and so that they left for England
Massachusetts, where she was probably an alien student. She's never a citizen. So I just think of her as having endured and having come from a lot of endurance. And I wish I'd met her. And I guess think about her life and what I never knew, because I know that she went through a lot. Alex.
My grandmother on my father's side passed away last week. Her name's Margaret. Thank you for sharing. I know it's so hard to share memories and triumphs and, oh, you guys want to share?
We have somebody online that might,
Oh,
that
okay.
might like to.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it to the screen.
Kim, if you would like to share, you're muted.
I am not prepared to share. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. I just want to thank everybody for sharing. It's so important to share and to feel that connection and, do you want to share something? Go ahead.
So, my great grandma, my mom was really close to her, and I was at her funeral, and I was not close to her, but I was really, really sad. And my mom was really, 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 really sad. And she was crying, and then she wrote her down poem, and she really, when she died, well, before she died, she would, when my mom wrote her a poem, so she did it, and it was sad.
Yeah, my grandmother, when my grandfather died when I was really little, I wrote a poem when I was in like 4th grade, and she was like, "You're gonna write me a poem when I die," and I want to hear it now. I'm like, no. So when she did die, I wrote a poem and I read it, but she wanted to know before. But we didn't. Thank you for sharing. So thank you everybody for sharing. I know it's not easy, but I hope you found it hard. Now we're gonna do cakes and ale. I was gonna keep it pretty simple. The wine represents the feminine spirits. So may you never thirst. And may you never hunger. Okay, so now I'm going to close circle. If anyone else wants to share anything, we can do it in our social hall. And so I'm gonna just go kind of work myself backwards. Okay. Hail to the elemental force of earth. Thank you for your presence and for watching over this rite. Go now in peace, so mote it be. Hail to the elemental force of water. Thank you for your presence and for watching over this rite. Go now in peace, so mote it be. Hail to the elemental force of fire. Thank you for your presence and watching over this rite. Go now in peace, so mote it be. Hail to the elemental force of air. Thank you for your presence and for watching over this rite. Go now in peace, so mote it be. Great Spirit, we thank you for your ever presence in our lives, and we thank you for the abundance and life we have. Please continue to shine your love and light on us as the months turn dark and cold. May we continue to grow in fellowship and friendship, even on the darkest days. Stay if you will, but go if you must, so mote it be. The circle is open but never broken. May the love and light bless you wherever your journey may lead, so mote it be.
Thank you, everybody.
And it's here, so we got nothing to say. Thank you, that was perfect, and it's just, we all know that Halloween, or maybe we don't, that Halloween is Samhain. And Samhain, the ancient Celts believed that the earth was closest to the netherworld, and they could talk whatever with their ancestors gone by, and sometimes they might be able to come down and pick them up, hence the mask, so it was just perfect, so thank you. Oops, sorry, I have to get back in. Shall we sing the final hymn? Okay, the final hymn is, All My Memories of Love. It's number 336, all my memories of love. Harbingers of frost. Autumn, we know, is life en route to death. The asters are but harbingers of frost. The skies, flaunting their colors at the sky, and other times will follow where the leaves have fallen, and so shall we. Yet other lives will come. So may we know, accept, embrace the mystery of life we hold a while, nor mourn that it outgrows each separate self, but rejoice that we still may have our day. Lift high our colors in the sky, and give in our time fresh glory to the earth. And I have a final Celtic blessing. It's on the source unknown, but it's attributed to being Scottish. May the blessing of light be on you, light without and light within. May the blessed sunlight shine on you like a great peat fire, so that stranger and friend may come and warm himself at it. May the light shine out of the two eyes of you, like a candle set in the window of a house, bidding the wanderer come in out of the storm, and may the blessing of the rain be upon you. May it beat upon your spirit and wash it fair and clean, and leave there a shining pool where the blue of heaven shines, and sometimes a star. And may the blessing of the earth be on you, soft under your feet as you pass along the roads, soft under you as you lie out on it, tired at the end of each day. And may it rest easy over you when, at last, you lie out under it. May it rest so lightly over you that your soul may be out from it very quickly, up and off and on its way to God. And now may the Lord bless you and bless you kindly. Amen. So, I forgot to ask you to, I should have asked you to do that as I did the closing word with our And now if we could turn the video off.